On today's show,
Dion Waiters and the Miami Heat can't stop winning, and the Raptors are falling in the East standings.
we discuss the epic 4 OT game in Atlanta and the chants Melo heard from the Hawks crowd.
And whoever smelt it, dealt it in a brand new edition of Weekend Poopsies.
It's Monday, January 30th. The starter starts now.
Good evening, sweet world, and welcome to The Starters. Whether you're listening to the podcast, joining us live right now on NBA TV or later on YouTube, we're very, very happy to have you. I'm J.E. Skeets, and alongside me, as always, that's Tass Mellis.
Go Falcons!
Yeah!
Just pandering to the crowd here, yeah.
Lee Ellis is out on a secret mission today, so we're no Lee, but that's okay, because over yonder, it is the bearded one. It's Trey Kirby.
Hey-o!
Hey-o! TK, what's up, man?
Well, I'm here at the internet looking for your best tweets at hashtag the starters. And guys, last week, inspired by Vince Carter's 360 layup, we asked y'all to send in videos of your dad's best basketball moves. And once you laid your eyes on the legend that is 360 Dad, the videos just started flying in.
Yeah.
Like this one from Danny Breakdown's dad, who hit us with a move called the Pajama Slammer.
Ooh.
Or this one from Samuel Garza, where a dad just goes Kryptonate and dunks on some punk kid.
Concussion.
This comes from Andrew Livingston's dad doing a soft baby hook on a baby basketball hoop. And this is Jameer Ramos, a dad himself, who knocked down a free throw while hula hooping. But our favorite video comes from Kate, whose dad returned from an 18-month absence after a brain aneurysm, missed the first layup, but then nails the 360 layup. More of a spin than Lee Ellis, and just like Lee Ellis, he hits the over.
Yeah.
Our favorite part, however, his men's league team is apparently called the Rickety Bones. Perfect name, I would say, but these have been so good, we're keeping the call open. Send us your parents' best basketball moves. Moms, dads, aunts, uncles, grandmas, grandpas, it doesn't matter. Hit us up on Twitter, either hashtag the starters or via email, thestarters@nba.com. The best ones are gonna make the show.
All right, send
Nice.
them in, guys. We got a fun Monday here. We're going to play a little fill in the blank. We've got a whole brand new edition of Weekend Whoopsies. But we start with something we haven't done in a little while, and it's called Simply Would You Believe Me? Trey's found some sort of NBA facts. He's going to pitch them to us, and we'll just sort of find out how believable they truly are. Trey, first one.
I got some unbelievable facts over here. 2 weeks ago, the Miami Heat were 11-30, rocking the second worst record in the East. Since then, they've won 7 straight, invented the celebration pose of the season, and saw Dion Waiters be named Eastern Conference Player of the Week. Would you believe me if I told you the Heat have the NBA's longest winning streak? The Heat.
No,
I don't think that's true.
Not
Can
really.
Can we check that fact?
That's nuts.
It is surprising.
Yeah.
It's most surprising because of the way they started this season. And the way they started this season was because they were injured. They're the most injured team in the league this year. Everybody up and down the roster has been injured. Rodney McGruder has played the most games for this team this season.
Love
and
that
Rodney
movie.
McGruder has not made his mark in the NBA quite yet. I mean, everybody, Dragic, Whiteside have been injured. You see the games there. They have established players at the 1 and 5 spots, with Dragic and Whiteside. This team should have been a lot better out of the gate, but those injuries killed them. 2 6-game losing streaks this season. I would say because of those injuries. This is a bubble team for the playoffs when healthy, so I don't think it's that surprising. It's just that they started so poorly. They got this label as a terrible team.
Yeah, but what's interesting about the winning streak, I'm glad you brought up all the injuries. It's because all those young guys, some of their young guys, they're sort of development guys in a Tyler Johnson or Richardson or even Justice Winslow, because those guys have been injured. These more vet-like guys, and I'm throwing Dion Waiters in there, he's still obviously very young, but Dion Waiters and James Johnson and Wayne Ellington, those guys have given them a boost over this sort of this 7-game winning streak. They've played really well, along with obviously your sort of pillars in Dragic and Whiteside. That's what's sort of surprising because, the young guys are playing, and it's sort of like, well, we're building towards the future. What can we get from Johnson and Richardson and Winslow and get them minutes and stuff like that? But now these guys, especially Johnson and Ellington, like I said, who are like 29, 30, those guys are all about, we want to win now. I mean, they're playing for contracts, Waiters included in that, which is going to be really, really interesting. I think the Heat are going to have one of the most interesting offseason decisions when it comes to maybe even this trade deadline too with, well, who do we keep from this bunch? Do we try and sign some of these guys, or are we going to lose them? But kudos to them. You said a couple times here, Tass, over the last couple weeks, like the league, even the bottom sort of feeding teams are entertaining. or more than we could remember over years past, and the Heat are a good example of it.
Oh yeah, I think from 20 to 30, we've seen the best basketball of any year that I can remember. And yeah, the younger guys are the future of this team. But people said, maybe they should just blow it up. A lot of people wondered, this bad start, maybe it spurs on a new team, basically, just to restart it. But Pat Riley doesn't restart. And again, I think Goran Dragic at the 1 spot, he's always underrated. Everybody constantly overlooks him and thinks, he's just some guy. When you got a guy at 1 and the 5 spot that are pillars, as you mentioned, you call them pillars. I think they can be. I think the Heat consider them to be. Then it just took Erik Spoelstra to get this team together. Erik Spoelstra is just a great basketball coach, and it just took him some time. And he's made Dion Waiters, you're throwing him in as a vet. Dion Waiters hasn't looked like a vet his entire career. Right. But Erik Spoelstra has got the best out of Dion Waiters that any coach in the NBA has ever gotten.
Hey, he was good in the playoffs for the Thunder last year. You gotta give him some props for that.
He's played well. And as we said, you said Player of the Week honors. I mean, that's a little unbelievable. Dion Waiters just won Player of the Week honors, but rightfully so because they're winning a bunch of games and he's put up great numbers. Obviously hit timely shots in a lot of those games too. All right, Trey, next one.
Like our former colleague Cam Stewart might say, the Toronto Raptors are struggling. Having lost 6 of their last 7 thanks to some combination of injuries, fatigue, and mid-season malaise. Meanwhile, the Boston Celtics are on a 3-game win streak. Not great, Bob. Would you believe me if I told you the Raptors have fallen to the 3rd seed?
Yeah.
I don't think it's that shocking. I mean, they're still on a pace for a 50-win team. It's sort of like the Heat flipped. They started the season extremely hot. They're on like a 60-win pace. And now it's the other side of things.
Yeah.
They're not playing. Yeah, they haven't played well for a month. I don't think they're as bad as they played the last month, but they weren't as good as they had played the beginning of the month. So it's sort of evening out. Yeah, they'll get better. But there's nothing really to put your finger on with this team. It's just chemistry hasn't been great. The defense has dropped off a little bit, but I don't think there's one little thing that you can, tangibly point your finger at. This team just is going through a mid-season malaise.
Yeah, and I think you got to point out, like, a couple of their recent losses to the Spurs, the Grizzlies, and the Magic have been by a combined 5 points. I mean, those very easily, you flip them around, they're wins, and then we're like, oh, the Raps are fine. What's shocking about this is the Raps took this long to sort of give up that number 2 seed, because they haven't been playing well in January, as you said, they're 7-9, but the Celtics sort of hit that slump. The Cavs, obviously, they were in their own slump. The Hawks and Wizards, though, those are the 2 teams coming. But it's not that far-fetched to see the Raptors falling to that 5th or 6th seed because the way the Hawks and the Wizards are playing recently. So that's what I agree with you, though. It is tough to be like, besides the defense, which is always, when the Raps can play a little bit of defense, then they can win a lot of games because their offense is still that good. But they're just not great. They're just not that great of defensive team. And missing Patrick Patterson for that good chunk of time obviously really, really hurt them. He's getting back in there now, so hopefully they turn it around. This is a big week, though. They play the Pelicans, and then they play the Celtics on the road, who they've taken both games from earlier this year. Those were maybe a little different Celtics teams, of course, because of injury as well. But that's a big season series, because that could be a very potential tiebreaker when you get to the end of the season. And it's like, oh, is it going to be the Celtics and Raps at 2 or 3 or 3 and 4 or whatever it is? So that's a big game later this week, and then they play the Magic and the Nets. I think the Raps will, I think they go 2 or 2 out of the 3 and 1 in this sort of next weekend.
No doubt, yeah. They've got a bit of a rivalry going with the Boston Celtics, and it's kind of fun to watch that this team is sort of developing a little bit of a rivalry with a team in the Eastern Conference, other than the Cleveland Cavaliers, for that 2nd seed, because that's where they belong. They won 56 games last year, and people expected them to get back to that mark. I mean, I think that would be an incredible season if they got back to that mark. Sure. Before the season we talked, I thought they'd be a little bit closer to the 50-win mark. They're still on pace for that. So zoom out for a second, and it's not all that bad.
Okay.
It really isn't all that bad. It is surprising that they haven't played well for an entire month, but listen, the best teams, I'm going to throw the Raptors into the category with the best teams in the league. The Cavs, were 2-5 through 7 games recently. The Warriors went through a bad stretch. It definitely happens, and they want to hold on to that 2nd seed. That's what the fight is all about for in the Eastern Conference. But the Celtics, their over-under line to begin the year was higher than the Raptors.
Yeah.
There was expectations for that team, so it's not surprising that they're very close. The Raps over-under line was like 50.
You'd rather have the slide in January than March or early April. That's the truth as well. If you're going to have that malaise, have it now. All right, final one, Trey.
All right, we all know that Carmelo Anthony is on the trade block, and apparently so do Hawks fans, as the crew down at the Fortress got their heckle game going early yesterday. Shout out to the Hawks bros. Would you believe me if I told you Hawks fans chanted LA Clippers while Melo was shooting free throws? Zingers.
Well, I got to leave this one to Tess because you were at the game.
Yeah.
So was it believable?
I would believe you, Trey.
Were you chanting as
Because I
well?
was there. No, I wasn't chanting. I didn't expect it. I didn't know where it was coming from.
Yeah.
But then I heard it, and I texted immediately a man who sits in that six-man section, the Hawks Bros, who get all the chants going in that arena. I texted Larry Luke, and I said, that's a heck of a chant, Larry
Wow.
Luke. That's a good chant.
Yeah.
They were right up in Melo's grill. They were ready for him as soon as he got to the free throw line. It wasn't a "you suck." It was an LA Clippers. It was a straight mock of him. It was good. It was a good focused chant. It was well done.
So you have no problems with the chant.
No, and I think it got Melo going, to be honest.
Well, he had a good game
He was
until he
hot.
fouled out.
And it was one of those.
The game's still going on, by the way.
Right, yeah. The 4 OT game took forever, and we'll talk about it a little bit later in the show. But ISO Melo was fun. You know, it was one of those games where ISO Melo was just great.
Yeah.
Because I actually had seats, you know, for the second half and OT where Melo was doing his thing offensively, and he was burying everybody, and Paul Millsap was playing great defense, but it was literally, Melo was literally, give me the ball, and he just destroyed everybody.
You sitting courtside now? Big time?
No.
Yeah? No?
You don't get a good view courtside. You don't get a great
No,
view
you went
courtside.
up a little bit.
I was in row F.
Oh, man.
Thanks to Turner Sports for those tickets. I didn't pay for those.
All right, gotta take a quick break. Coming up, it's Fakey time.
Oh, yeah.
Back with the starters. Let's play a little fill in the blank. We ask you to play along on Twitter, #thestarters, with your answers when it comes to fill in the blank. Trey, first one.
Yesterday, the Knicks and Hawks played 68 minutes of basketball while throwing down the first 4 overtime game in the NBA since 2012. That, my friends, is a long game. Fill in the blank. The Knicks-Hawks 4 OT game felt longer than blank.
To me, it felt longer than a baseball game.
To me, it felt longer than normal, but you go.
Longer than normal?
I'll explain.
It was slightly longer than normal. I love the old ball game, but it can get a little bit dry at times.
Yep.
Little bit long, pitch by pitch by pitch. And listen, it was just a long game. That's it.
Did you ever think about
Time-wise, it was just a long game. Surprisingly, I didn't go to the bathroom once. I didn't leave my seat once.
I'm not sure that's healthy, man.
It's not healthy.
No.
And my wife held out. She basically before the fourth quarter buzzer, she thought, well, I can wait till the fourth quarter buzzer, thinking the game would be over, but she held out. After the first OT, the second OT, after the third OT, she went. Okay. I didn't go with her.
She finally cracked. All right, well, I went with normal because, and here's what I mean by it. For a quadruple overtime game, it was actually really entertaining in the overtime frames.
Oh, of course.
Because the honest truth when it comes to overtime basketball, it's a dirty truth there. They usually suck. They usually suck because it's not, guys are tired. There's not great shot selection. The guys want to end the game just as much as the fans want it to end. But this game, with the 23 lead changes, the 21 ties, and in the overtime frames, there were big shot after big shot. Guys were still attacking. So, again, I mean, sort of jokingly around here, it felt longer than normal, but it was entertaining. I mean, you were there, so you must have been into it. And it helped maybe that there's a lot of Knicks fans when they're in Atlanta when they play.
Yeah, that helps.
So it's sort of back and
They
forth.
were just, trading buckets back and forth. It was a great time.
Great game. All right, next one, Trey.
All right, the Blazers' CJ McCollum says he's going back in the three-point contest this year, hoping to improve on his 2016 performance that saw him come in 7th while shooting an air ball on his first rack. Now that he's in, let's add to the field, guys. Fill in the blank. Blank should also be in the three-point contest.
I got my answer.
Shooting.
Swaggy P should be in the three-point contest because he can also knock them down. He's hitting 41.8% from 3 this year. That's a career high for Swaggy P, with almost 3 per game made. So it's not like he's not shooting many. He would be A-plus entertainment. He would either start shooting 2 balls at once, he'd be doing it in a denim jacket, I don't know, like his celebrations would be incredible. Get Swaggy P in the three-point contest.
I put Zach LaVine down because he's not participating in the slam dunk contest. And part of why he's not going in is because he wants everyone to know that he is a basketball player. And he is shooting an incredible percentage as well. He's above 40%, which is a career high for him. And it's actually 6th amongst guys who shoot a ton of three-pointers because he shoots a heck of a lot of them. He's a near 20-point-per-game scorer in this league. people should know that he is a basketball player as well. I think the casual fan who doesn't watch Minnesota Timberwolves games might think that Zach LaVine is strictly a dunker. So, for his sake, the man brought back the slam dunk contest. Let's do him a solid and throw him a bone and get him in the three-point contest.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think we've ever had the same guy win both the slam dunk contest and the three-point contest. We've had a lot of guys try it, Ray Allen, even Bones, but I don't think anyone's won both of them. So, man, it's a possibility.
Zach can do it.
All right, final one, Trey.
All right, Dwayne Wade still got it, you guys, and he showed us all last night, hitting the 76ers' Rashawn Holmes with not one, but two sauced-up ball fakes before hitting a nice little jumper here. Guys, fill in the blank. Wade's fake on Holmes was blank.
It was dirty with 2 R's, Christina Aguilera style, baby.
I love it.
Yeah, or filthy, or nasty. You know what it reminded me of? When you jump on Instagram and you're looking through all the videos, and obviously a lot of basketball videos are popping up. You ever seen the one, remember the Professor?
Oh, yeah.
From the N1 tour? You ever seen him when he dresses up as Spider-Man? Mm-hmm. And he's always hooping kids? You never seen those? Unbelievable. They're hilarious. But he's always doing moves like that, where he's doing the fake that Wade did. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I keep it simple.
It was a sexy, sexy move, but it happened because he practiced. The young players on the Bulls.
No, he's not practicing.
No, he practiced on Saturday, baby. Because the young players on the Bulls said, hey, we want Dwayne Wade to practice. Well, he practiced, and then he showed him this. All because he practiced. He obviously practiced.
So he was doing
move.
it on an assistant coach or something in
Yeah,
practice?
for sure. Yeah.
I mean,
this looks like a move somebody would send us as a dad move, right?
Yeah.
The fake behind the back.
It's still shocking
Incredible.
when you see it in an NBA game.
Of course,
Because it's just super, super rare, but unbelievable move from Wade. All right, that's fill in the blank. We still got lots more to come on the show when we return. Well, 2 of the Raptors All-Stars, Kyle and DeMar, star in a brand new edition of Weekend Whoopsies. Don't go anywhere. I said Lily was on a secret mission earlier in the show. He's not doing a great job of keeping it a secret. He just posted this to his Instagram account. There he is with Rolando Blackman, holding a tape that says 87 All-Star Game on it. You can probably figure out what's going on here. But Rolando Blackman looking great.
That's incredible.
How old is he?
He can still play.
Lee looks great, too.
Nah.
Lee looks as good as that 57-year-old man does, for sure.
Getcha. All right, Lily will be back tomorrow. Let's get to some weekend whoopsies, though. We got a whole lot, Tess.
Somebody on the Pacers bench cut some cheese, broke some wind. Oh, look
It's
at that.
Lavoy
Allen,
Allen, for sure. It's for sure Lavoy Allen. Celtics broadcaster Brian Scalabrine showed up rocking this great jacket over the weekend. One problem, that's not how you spell Scalabrine.
Scalbrine.
You're missing an A there, Brian.
James Harden makes some friends in Philadelphia. Shooting over Dario Saric in the first row. Hey, let's take an opportunity. Hey, what's up?
How's it going, man?
What's up?
How you doing? Nice to meet you.
Hey.
Tony Allen is always kind to us in Weekend Whoopsies. Here he is, jumping in the air. He doesn't know if he's going to shoot it or pass it, so he just leaves it.
That's a half-hearted protest.
No, that's
there.
definitely Blazers ball.
That game there produced an incredible Twitter beef. Incredible Twitter beef. It started with Chandler Parsons missing this shot, and that's when the Blazers account tweeted, to be fair, the NBA three-point line is really, really far away from the basket. Oh, Chandler fired back, baby. Good luck in the lottery show this year, Blazers. But that's when CJ McCollum of the Blazers fired back. We hit the lottery by not signing you!
In your face, handsome Chandler Parsons. All right, same game. Great moment from Festus Ezeli, who sort of video bombed the wrong TV crew.
Out there, Portland fans.
How's your knee?
Fans. My knee is getting better. I can't wait to get on the court, man. That was a crazy game, huh?
It was.
It was.
It was.
Anchor down.
Go.
Anchor down.
What just happened?
I don't even know if he knew we were for the Grizzlies.
Probably not.
No, definitely not.
No, to give him credit, he hasn't played this year. What just happened? What just happened to Raymond Felton? Throwing the ball out of bounds. Watch Dan Crawford, though. Referee in game shape.
Oh, quick feet.
Nice.
Steph Curry, Clippers, Warriors. Steph's gonna hit one from half. Nothing whoopsie about that, but it comes in the form of the celebration. A little hip bump, and then down goes Curry. And he slides into it. He sells it.
Yeah, it's important to match centers of gravity when you're doing that sort of jump.
It's true.
End of the shot clock here. We got to get it up. Got to get it up. Got to get it up. Oh. Unfortunately, Darren Collison. Yeah, just bit it right
What's
there.
even the call? Traveling, I guess?
Yeah.
Humiliation. The Nets playing some, ugly basketball on Saturday. Randy Foye just throws it out of bounds. Brooke gives us the airball 3. And then Sean Kilpatrick here, I mean, I don't know if that's a shot or is he throwing the oop to Lopez. Yeah, I mean, Brooks pointing. I don't know what's going on.
That's a toughie.
It was rough.
This one's great because James Harden, he's the whoopsie, but Al Jefferson, the veteran move to catch the ball as James Harden, turns it over.
What's with Harden in that corner this weekend?
Got him.
Sitting down again on somebody's lap. Love this. DeAndre Liggins, after a huge Tristan Thompson block, he's going to try and sort of get the half-court shot or three-quarter shot off, but he just completely travels, and LeBron knows it. So yeah, a couple steps were taken there.
This is mean, but Kyle Singler, when you shoot an air ball from 1 foot,
Oh my goodness.
you're going to whoopsie it.
How did he
Go
do
glass,
that?
man.
Dunk it.
Jeez.
Come on, Kyle. Terrence Ross, this one's cute. Plays the old over here trick. Little tap of the shoulder to 2 young girls
Works every time.
during anthem. Yep, gets both of them. He's proud of himself.
Staying with the Raptors, they're having some fun despite not playing their best ball. Hey, we're on the Jumbotron. Hey!
Look at
Kyle
this guy.
Lowry and DeMar, still great buds, huh?
DeMar's like, come on, Kyle.
Kyle.
This is how I feel it always is for them. Kyle embarrassing DeMar. Just
Yeah,
a little
That's
bit.
true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun relationship.
That 4-0T game
Yep.
in Atlanta, it had it all, including a wedgie.
Wow, you saw a live wedgie again.
Yes,
You are the
I
wedgie
did.
whisperer task.
Wedgie number
Yeah.
27 on the season. And it was kind of a unique one here because it was a defensive block. Just got
Whoa.
shoved right in
Very
there.
rare. They're all snowflakes.
Yeah, this is definitely unique. The
Not
old
much breathe there, though.
the old tap, the old hump and O'Quinn
All
tap.
right. 27, baby. Okay.
Through January 29th, we're on pace for 49.555555, rounded up 49.56 wedgies.
Apparently.
Rounded up to 49.6, rounded up to 50.
Yeah. All right, one more break. When we come back, very solid Trey delivers on the very solid play, filling in for Lele. You're a
No
good friend.
accent this time.
You're a
Not
good friend,
feeling it.
man. Right, a quick look at tonight's pick and play. It's the Grizzlies Suns, the second game of our TNT doubleheader tonight. Pistons Celtics is the first game. Tass only went with the Suns, everybody else taking the Grizzlies. But hey, the month of January, it's sort of technically over because Trey has lost and will be doing something embarrassing, weird, strange. We'll figure it out on Thursday's show of this week, February 2nd. Note that date, February 2nd.
Google it.
Yeah, Google it. It'll tell you. Trey, where are we going for your very solid play?
We're going to the field house in Indiana for a gentle boomerang play from the Pacers. Jeff Teague gives it up, and then he gets it on the back cut for a layup. I know Lee would love this.
Oh, yeah.
From Jeff to Miles to Paul. Where's Jeff? Where's Jeff? Where's Jeff? Oh, there he is for a layup. And that's what I call a very solid play.
Oh, yeah,
Nice.
He loves that one. He would love that. All right, guys, little reminder, tomorrow morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, live on Twitter. It's the Starters Twitter show. Always a blast. We encourage you to join us live. We tweet it out. NBA tweets it out. So we'll see you then. And then, of course, tomorrow night, we'll be back.
We also have those sick beats on that show.
Love that beat.
Yeah, man.
So many great beats. All right, thanks for joining us, folks. And remember, you can't get rich if you're not trying.
Brace the night, people.